Oh, okay. Hi, hello, everybody. Thank you so much for waiting. I am your androgynous android game show host, the Neon Caster. Thank you very much for tuning into another stream and for waiting so long while I was doing setup. Not only was I making sure I was looking extra gorgeous and wintry today, complete with a very Princess Rosalina style earring, we are also going to be doing a charity drive for special effect in collaboration with Black Twitch UK, which is very exciting. I've never done that kind of collaboration before on streaming. I am, before we go and get into what we normally do on our Cyberpunk Book Club streams, this is mostly just to check that we are live and stable and that our audio is working correctly and so on and so forth, because there are a handful of things about this that I have not tested before, and I am terrified that they are broken and all going wrong. So you might have to bear with me just a little bit while I vamp and then make sure that I am yelling about this in all the right places and on all the right things. Gotta make sure that the regular crew that I roll with know that we're doing this. We might even actually have a couple members of Phantom Arts Entertainment join us on stream in the stream call while we play. In fact, while we're doing that, let me put some tunes on because then that means we can have. There we go. We have tunes. That helps for there not to be complete dead air while I go and just make sure that I've got all my tech bits and pieces set up. How are we all doing, everybody? I need to make sure that the chat is refreshed and working. You would figure that somebody like me who has been doing this for almost 2 years would actually have all the technology on lock. And it turns out I still don't. This is still complicated and terrifying, which, I really should be used to by now. Right. Yes. My day. Let's talk about my day so I can vamp for air while we're kind of waiting for people to kind of get on the call and in the chat. Please do say hello if you're in the chat and can hear me in my voice. Also let me know that stuff like my audio volume is okay, because the last thing we want to do is get several hours into the stream and then have me find out that my audio is terrible. Okay, I can be heard. Wonderful. Very good. Hi, Joe. How you doing? If you wanted, you're part of the Phantom Arts crew. If you want to join me on the call, you absolutely can. But otherwise, you can just chill out. Tell me how your day went. My day has been actually pretty relaxed. The regular day job actually made today a get stuff done day, meaning that I was able to set aside my regular workload and then actually just do a little bit of making sure that my secondary job, which I guess is this and tabletop RPGs, was up and functional. So I've actually been a bit of a busy bee, even if it's not been my regular day job. Hello. Self promo on a variety of on the clock. Absolutely. I recognize that time zones are a thing, and in the US this is like 3 p.m. for y'all, so it's still definitely during your work hours, but that is absolutely okay. Thank you so much for joining me even in your ears while I go and get all my bits and pieces set up. I think that's really all the promo that I'm going to be doing for now, and then people will trickle in. Yes, it has been a hot second since we have done Cyberpunk Book Club. So before we, as I was saying a little bit earlier, before we go and get into actually the format proper, I've just got my kind of like regular relaxed chat space going, vamping for time. I probably could have just set this to just chatting, but I've already set it to Cloudpunk and I don't want to go and tinker with it now. Technology is a curse. But yes. Doing a collaboration with Black Twitch UK, part of which is actually run by Geeky Cassie, if I recall correctly, who is in the chat right now. Thank you so much for putting an organisation highlighting black creative talent on the internet, because there aren't a lot of people who do that. They don't necessarily give us that kind of time a lot of the time, so I really appreciate those kind of groups being made, and I hope that my kind of like brand of online weirdness will be a pleasant fit. For those who are tuning in now, or maybe listening to the VOD in the future, a little bit about myself if you've not tuned into the Neon Caster show before. Yes, I am your androgynous android game show host, the Neon Caster, aka Nathan Blades. It is a pleasure to meet you. Our vibe usually is playing tabletop RPGs. Oh yes, my preferred pronouns are he, they. He, him, or they, them works absolutely fine. Yeah, we normally play a lot of tabletop RPGs on this channel, indie RPGs, none of that Dungeons and Dragons nonsense. Stuff made by myself, stuff made by friends, and stuff made by a wide variety of other cool people that I'd like to show to other people in the world. But we also occasionally do video game streams, specifically within cyberpunk as a genre and within urban fantasy as a genre. I myself am not super well known for playing video games well or quickly, but what I can do is play them and discuss them as media texts, which is what Cyberpunk Book Club is all about. So whenever we do one of these, we go and play one. We go and talk a little bit about the game before we get started, talk about maybe what we're expecting the game to be about, what we might see as we play. Play it for a couple of hours, and then on the other side, discuss about its ideas and themes, and then what we can do to inspire our work going forward with the game that we've just played. What kind of tabletop RPGs do I recommend? Well, we'll give the quick answer, and then we'll give the shill answer. The quick answer is that if you go onto itch.io, you can find a really wide variety of different tabletop RPGs from a wide variety of themes. The thing I love about indie game design is that you can say one day, I want to play a game where everybody is an air pirate and you have to smuggle goods away from the air police, and there'll be a game for that. Absolutely. Being able to kind of find unique game experiences for your niche interests is fantastic. I myself actually have written a wide variety of tabletop RPGs already, which you can then find on my itch.io account, and then hopefully Streamlabs will actually let me post it. Yeah, it wasn't letting me post in the chat earlier, which was stressing me out a lot. Okay, that works, good. Generally, if there's a genre, there is a game for it. To give the shill answer, part of what we're doing, because this is a charity stream, is that one of the incentives that I've set, and it should be available to see, is that if you donate £2, hi, Bonic Sims. Thank you so much for joining the stream as well. I am fabulous. Yes, indeed. I figure I occasionally like to put on makeup for these things. But I figured since this one is a big deal, we're going to go for the wintry bar humbug bitch look today. Yes, indeed. But there should be an incentive that you can see that lets you donate £2, and then you can ask me a question about video game design or tabletop RPG design. And I think I set that correctly in my incentives, but I might not have done. In which case I apologise. But we are going to be doing multiple streams this week. Today we're going to be playing Cloudpunk. Tomorrow we're going to be playing Bitrat Singularity, and then on Thursday we're going to be playing Lockhart Indigo. So even if I manage to not do a great job at doing the charity technical bits and pieces, because I've never done it before, by this time tomorrow we will be experienced. We will know the rules. We'll know how to get this shit sorted. so it will be running a whole lot more smoothly tomorrow. I apologize. But for now, you should be able to donate to my branch of the Tiltify, which goes towards the overarching one, at this link that I have placed it in the Twitch doobly-doo. It should also, if you're actually watching it on twitch.tv/the Neoncaster, right down below, there should also be a link to the bits and pieces. Right, good. Let's go and talk a little about what Special Effect is, for those who don't know out there, and then we'll get into doing the show proper, and into the space that I'm much more comfortable with doing live. So Special Effect is a UK charity that enables severely disabled people to use technology to play video games. Currently in the indie game scene, and actually quite presciently in the AAA scene, accessibility has become increasingly important. In fact, I do believe The Last of Us 2 actually won an award for it this week, or last week, depending on time wibbliness, for its accessibility, and we'd like to go forward in making sure that accessibility is something that is concerned in the game design and game playing process across all levels. So even if the game itself might not necessarily be super accessible, there are people out there that need maybe additional hardware and the correct controllers to be able to play games, because they're interested in games too, even if their bodies are not everybody's bodies. So Special Effect puts their funding to good use and able to help everybody, regardless of their age, background, or ability, to play video games. Yes, indeed. Haha! And with that, let's actually go to the book club scene, making sure that works. We have that going. My webcam has vanished into the ether, but that's okay. Whoosh! There we go, we exist again. Hello. Do we have funky jams for here? We don't have funky jams. Shall we put in some funky jams? That always sounds like a good time to have. Media source. Yes. We tend to make sure that we have things going on. There we go. Yeah, you know, we like to be professional. In the real world, in my actual day job, I work in media broadcasting, and so I end up going into these things, maybe trying a little too hard, but it's all good. So yes, Cyberpunk Book Club. We like to go and play a wide variety of indie games in this genre. And talk about them as media text, because all games are art, so let's treat them like art and discuss them like art. Today, as I said, we are going to be playing the one and only Cloudpunk, under its description on Steam. Cloudpunk is a neo-noir story in a rain-drenched cyberpunk metropolis. It is your first night on the job working for the Cloudpunk delivery service. There are 2 rules. Don't miss a delivery, and don't ask what's inside the package. It also has a really interesting voxel style. Voxels, if you don't know, pixels, but 3D. They deal really specifically in building shapes in a really building an environment out of these kind of like very specific rugged angular shapes to build large detailed areas. If you've ever played Octopath Traveler. I am actually already affiliate Geeky Cassie, thank you for asking. I reached it a little while ago, and it was a lot of fun working towards that, but for many reasons I've chosen to not monetize my channel for now. For reasons I won't necessarily go into while we are doing the bit. I think maybe we'll talk a little bit about that when we're kind of in our rest bits in between. But it was fun working towards affiliate and actually making the kind of content y'all are enjoying and like to follow the channel for, and I definitely appreciate everybody who does follow the channel. But this kind of voxel style that we see in Cloudpunk. If you've ever played Octopath Traveler, that is definitely one of the more modern games in that style. If you're a bit more of a Actually, yeah, I guess the PS3 does count as a retro games console now. 3D Dot Heroes is probably one of the most prolific games in the voxel style. So this game is alongside that aesthetic with, of course, some really, really classy cyberpunk lighting, which I like to call bisexual lighting because it's all in purple and blue, you know. But yes, the themes we expect. Well, this game being about a delivery service, there's actually a handful of cyberpunk media out there that deals with delivery services as a topic. There's a book that I read in university when I was more an impressionable young being called Snow Crash. And that actually is about a pizza deliveryman called Hero Protagonist, who rides on a cool motorcycle and has a samurai sword, and is fully aware that he will be murdered by the mafia if he fails to deliver his pizza on time. Snow Crash is specifically actually kind of like a camp parody of Cyberpunk, but it's so prolific as a book, it's actually kind of been taken from the realms of irony into just what the genre is. So let's go and type some of that down. So the premise reminds me of the high octane campness of Snow Crash's pizza delivery. Where is this game also camp? Because it might also be quite self-serious, which will be quite interesting, especially considering the theming of it is quite camp. Also, there are actually a couple of games in existence already that hit on these notes and in this genre. A little while ago, on some of my previous streams, we played through a day of... oh, thank you so much! Yes, the lipstick game is on point today. Yeah, we played through Valhalla recently on the stream, which is one of my favorite games in the genre. But then we also played that alongside Coffee Talk, which takes the premise of Valhalla, which is about cyberpunk bartending, and puts it in an urban fantasy environment. And so it was really interesting playing both of those games and comparing how they both played in terms of gameplay, but also in terms of the topics that they talked about and how they presented those ideas. There is another game called Neocab, where you are a cab driver rather than a deliveryman working in a cyberpunk future, and it's kind of talking about your relationship to the job and kind of like what's it like to be working class in the cyberpunk future. Go. Yes. Valhalla is stylized quite interestingly. The game is actually like VA-11 Hall-A. It's like the address of the bar that the game takes place, but it's supposed to be, you know, a safe haven, a paradise for the mean streets of, I think it's called Neo Kobe City, to wear a bit of some of its gaming references on its sleeve. There's actually going to be a sequel to Valhalla Cyberpunk Bartending Simulator in the future called... Oh no, I don't remember what it's called. It's another pun on kind of like a mythological... Nirvana! There we go. The sequel is supposed to be called Nirvana. Let me see if I can find that. Oh no. There's multiple games called Nirvana, of course there are. What does life look when androids and cyborgs are people? Yes, absolutely. That's definitely one of the things that a lot of cyberpunk games explore quite heavily, and I really enjoy. I am always one of those people that's kind of like a... how to put this? When AI and robots are discussed in cyberpunk fiction, a lot of people go like, these are like humans, but they're not. It's spooky. Maybe they are evil. And I'm like, no, they just want to be your friend. I want to be friends with the AI. I want to be friends with androids, you know. They're just trying to be people too. And as a non-white, non-straight person in this world, being like, oh, I'm human, but these other people who are trying to be human, they can't be human. That makes no sense to me. No sense to me at all. But, oh yes, hi, also, two things. Welcome to the stream, Dark Dragons In, Ray, friend of the Neoncaster channel. Thank you for tuning in. You have played Cloudpunk before, so actually, I guess you mentioning what does life look like for androids and cyborgs is a piece of insider insight into what might be discussed in this game. I didn't know that was actually one of the topics, so I will absolutely add that to the list. What's life for androids and cyborgs? Are they people? And to, I guess, discuss a little bit of terminology, the difference between androids and cyborgs. For those who do not know, androids are replicas of humanity. So they are synthetic beings that are built from the ground up to be like people, which would be like the Terminator. Or actually, any clones that you've seen in a piece of media are also androids. They are also synthetic people. The replicants in Blade Runner are actually probably more in the realms of being clones than they are robots, but they are all definitely androids. Cyborgs, on the other hand, are humans, biological people, who have right, I need to reword that question. Thank you for the clarification. Cyborgs are regular humans who have modified their body in some form of a synthetic way. So if you've ever seen anybody with a pacemaker, with a prosthetic limb, arguably if they have gone through gender reassignment surgery, they are all cyborgs, which is fucking cool. You know, there are the disabled people and trans people have been body hacking themselves and have become cyborgs long before tech bros thought it would neat to put like magnets in their fingertips or any shit like that. So Cyberpunk is in general, if it's not featuring disabled people and queer people, then it's not doing Cyberpunk particularly well, in my opinion. Right. What is life like for humans when androids and cyborgs are considered people? Where? What are you doing? What are you doing, Google Docs? Oh, you're trying to autocorrect for me, I see. Thank you. Yes, I definitely think that is much more of a more nuanced discussion than are robots people, because we've trod across that territory in many ways in lots of media. So discussing what happens after the fact is actually really interesting. We played a little bit of, in fact, I think one of the first streams we ever did on this channel was Read Only Memories 2046, and that specifically at its start is about are robots people, and then by the end of the game, and the game's quite old so it's not really much of a spoiler and is considered discussed in other things, it moves on to this discussion of what is life like for humans when androids and cyborgs are considered people. The Mike Bithell short Subsurface Circular, which we've also played, is about this idea from this perspective of the androids, which is really fascinating. So actually there's an interesting web of lots of these games in this genre. Once you've played one, you can kind of like find some other games in the web and see how they discuss those ideas and compare them. But that's enough of us kind of flapping our gums about what the game could be. Let's actually go play this game. And to remind, before we go into the thing, because I should remind at multiple stages, this stream, in addition to being a regular Cyberpunk Book Club stream, is also in partnership with Black Twitch UK and Special Effect, doing a charity drive for Special Effect to fund that particular charity to aid in a wide variety of people, regardless of ability, being able to play video games and making video games accessible. If you're watching on Twitch, there's a link down below and you can click on the doodly-doo to donate, but you can also, in the chat doodly-doo, you can go find that there. Right, let's go boot Cloudpunk. I didn't boot it in advance because it would be coming through speakers and then everybody could hear it and it'd be really embarrassing. So let's make sure that that's live. I take a big sip of Aldi brand wine. It's not bad today. Come on, Cloudpunk, I believe in you. When they did the test earlier, it took like a full minute for the thing to actually boot properly, so we'll see what it do. We'll see if it remembers that I put it in windowed too. While I fortunately don't have to have many kind of accessibility concerns for how I play my games, stuff like making sure that the subs work, that it remembers the resolution that it plays in, that it's compatible with a wide variety of controllers and has mappable buttons, are things important not just to me. It takes a really long time to load up regardless of the system. Okay, so maybe I should have done that quietly in advance while vamping, but instead we'll just wait peacefully. We will take another sip. We will align our chakras. But yes, I'm very interested to see how this plays. Also, if it plays well on a mouse and keyboard. Well, I do have a gamepad handy. I have not hooked the gamepad up. Okay, well, it's in the taskbar and it's given me swirlies. We'll see what it do. I mean, I guess if it's populating an entire super elaborate neon voxel world. Oh, there we go. Ooh, I think we have sound, and it also is trying to steal my mouse cursor. There we go. Yeah. There we go. Please do let me know what the volume is like compared to my own voice, I guess. There we go, words. Because this game actually sounds relatively loud in my ears, and I did lower the volume. Let's put that to like 30. Audio balance is actually good. Hey, me doing it in advance was sensible, because sometimes this is deafening when we start. Let's check the controls. Cool. Inventory I, Action E, Map M. Ooh. We got the standard WASDs. Okay. Right. We'll go from there. Fantastic. God, it's always exciting to play. There's some of these games that I tend to play in advance. Oh, this game's super cool, huh? Normally I play some of these games in advance, mostly just to check they don't crash on boot, and sometimes it's to get to an interesting segment of the game, if it's a game a lot of people have played. But I think Cloudpunk is relatively slept on, so I decided that I would actually kind of go in blind and we can all discover the game side by side. Okay. Alright. We've got the brake on S. Yep. We're going this. We can't reverse, it's just the brake. And we can space to ascend. Left shift to descend. Okay. And then I can use the mouse wiggle to steer as well.
Control, come in. This is... Wait, is this channel receiving me?
Driver 14FC, this is Control. We read you. Is that you, Carmine?
No, my name is Rania.
You're the new kid.
I'm the new driver, yeah. Who is Carmine?
He was driver 14FB.
What happened to him?
He retired last month.
Good for him.
Not really. He was in the big Sector 6 crash last week. Lots of people got retired.
Oh.
Don't worry, you won't be flying through that section for hours yet.
Where do I go now?
Well, how are you handling your Hava?
Okay, I guess.
I read your references.
Ooh.
You're a good driver.
The turning circle is very
Navigating
tight.
a Hava around Navalis isn't like driving your flat country roads back home. Now, this city goes down 100 miles and up 1,000. Remember, you're not driving an old internal combustion engine. You'll need to engage your vertical repulsors or find one of the car lifts. Fly to headquarters. I'll give you more instructions when you arrive.
Thanks, Control.
One more thing, 14FC. Welcome to Cloudpunk.
Okay. So, I was not expecting there to be voice acting Often when we play stuff on Cyberpunk Book Club, we do the voices because I enjoy making up silly voices for all the characters and stuff like that. But if there's quality voice acting, we'll go for it. The sound effects are still really loud in my ears. Hold on. Let's turn down the environment a bit, please. There we go. Thank you. That was probably fine for y'all, but it was actually deafening in my ears. There we go. That's much better. Safely drive through the blue walls. Okay. Yeah, this is the thing I'm terrified of. Because there's obviously when you play on stream, there is an assumed competence from everybody involved. And that is sometimes true. Find a place to park. Right. I see. I can drive through the wall. And this is the place that I'm supposed to be at. Fantastic. And you know, I'm good at some video games. I really enjoy kind of like strategy games and JRPGs, and they require me usually to take my time. Do I press and hold E, or is it like a? No, don't crash into the car. There we go. Let me live. Okay, good. Right. How nerve-wracking. Ah, yes, and now I'm on foot. Can I zoom in? I can't. A lot of time stress avoiding them. Yeah, third-person view. Oh, this is maybe better. Yeah, okay, we have a more kind of like a MMO-style thing. Cool. How is that for turning speed? Hopefully that's not making people horrendously nauseous, otherwise I will go back to the kind of like faraway view. But yeah, no, you know, this is not a show where we go and play games super well, so if this game requires like, you know, really cool driving skills of me, that's going to be, well, we'll see. I will drive safely and within the bounds of the rules.
To the Marrow.
Okay.
Where's that?
Pretty low in the city superstructure. I'll give you a waypoint on your navcom to help you find it. Be careful down there. It's busy, and it's a maze. Not exactly the rich part of town. Kind of place where you wipe your feet on the way out.
Okay.
Carmenus was a great driver.
It's this way around.
You got big boots to fill. He flew delivery for over 10 years, you know?
How about the driver before him?
14
Okay.
FA. Lasted one night. Yeah. Most drivers only last one night.
They quit the job?
One way or another, yeah. You seem like a nice kid, 14FC. I hope you make it. Don't get lost down there in the Marrow.
I'll try. What's in the package?
2 rules, kid. Don't miss a delivery, and don't ask what's in the package. Everything else is just guidelines.
2 rules, kid. I mean, I must say the atmosphere is astounding. It's definitely leaning into the classic Blade Runner view of it being a rainy, perpetually overcast kind of atmosphere. There's a lot of freedom in where I can drive as well. I'm clearly not on the road, but I'm glad that there are nice, obvious roads for me to take. I'm just gonna put my wrist rest on so I don't destroy my hands during the game. There we go. Aha. So this is area 2. I think it said something about me actually being able to have a map. Oh.
Hey, 14FC, are you there? I just remembered I didn't talk to you about the Ascenders.
I think I know how they work, Control.
Oh, it's just something.
You do?
Okay.
They go up and also down, right?
Yeah, that's about it. You know why?
No.
Oh,
It's about vert ceilings.
Not those again.
ceilings.
Say again, 14FC.
Sorry, just making a kind of joke. Go ahead, Control.
Havas are tuned to a vertical field frequency based on the layer of the city they're in.
Right here.
That field locks you to a maximum and minimum altitude.
Makes sense.
That's why you need the Ascenders. They take you up or down a layer, and as they carry you, they reset your Hava's field frequency. They reset the vertical ceiling and floor.
But Havas fly just fine outside Nivalis without vert fields.
That's true. Your Hava will fly fine in areas without the fields. Even in old ruined parts of the city that are off the grid.
Oh no, I interrupted him. I assumed the discussion would kind of go into the loading scene. I'm sorry, old man. Our character is okay.
But the grid holds everything together in the city.
What?
Tracks you, gives you access to the nets, the comm, the mapping systems, the reserve power if your engine stalls.
And it stops us just flying straight up to the spire, too, right?
That's right, kid. The CEOs don't want you flying up and looking in their windows. They prefer their privacy.
I guess we don't get many jobs up there anyway.
You might be surprised, kid.
Oh, this is sea level. Ah, so this is a city that's been built on an area that's been submerged. How very, I guess if it's kind of playing into the kind of like a climate crisis cyberpunk, you know, when, because of our current circumstances, the water levels have risen to a degree where everything is now untenable. Can I park here? E. So, and this also seems to be doing the whole kind of like, the rich are quite literally living on a tier above all of us. What's this? Who are you? Inventory. Dried flower for the Eastern Peninsula. I used this as a bookmark when I was back home, but I hardly read anymore. I should throw this away, but when I think about it going to the trash here in Nivalis, something feels wrong, and I can't let it go. My old flute. I don't want to think about that. I don't want that right now. Okay, fine. Cool. There was an NPC here to talk to. Trixie Dio.
Did you try the okonomiyaki?
Isn't that a pancake?
With mayonnaise on it.
Fish flakes. Oh, it's to die for.
I wouldn't trust the fish flakes here in Nivalis.
Would you like to appear on my food review channel? It's on all the nets. We're looking for people to react to different stimuli. Can you pretend to be sick on cam?
What? No.
There's a free meal in it for you. Or would you pretend to be really annoyed? Our viewers love that.
I am annoyed.
That's perfect.
Oh, I see how they want to model the chest on this particular character over there. Okay, cool. That's, yeah. Right, yeah. Okonomiyaki is... There is a weird obsession with kind of like Japanese street food to put a ton of mayonnaise on it, and I am not that person. I can't stand mayonnaise. Gross. Erwin Carver.
Oh, thank God. This will change everything. Where do I sign?
Right here, Mr. Carva.
Please, call me Erwin. It's from my parents.
I didn't ask.
They died, you know. Cora only knows what caused the crash. I'm sure they saved their whole life to give this to me.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it would be in cash. Limbs. But my neighbor said they'd probably leave me pressed gold. That way, you don't pay so much city tax on the transfers. Can I take that now?
Sure, here you go. Who is Cora?
It's just an expression. You want to see what's inside?
Japanese mayonnaise is so much better.
If it's limbs.
I mean, I guess
Every day you see
marginally.
someone become rich in front of your eyes, right?
Okay, so
Just
I've
think,
had sriracha
I
mayo
can finally
before,
get the
and
eye
that's
surgery
good.
I need.
But
2
yeah.
augments. No expense spared.
Uh-huh.
I can hardly read the holocrons these days. It's all just a blur. Let's see. Just rip here and... Oh,
What is it? Gold?
it's old toys.
Oh, rip my dude.
My ship models. The R7 ICBM and Sputnik. The NASA shuttles. The UN Interplanetary 101. Why did they send these? It must be some kind of code.
There's a note, right?
Yeah, let's see. Dear Erwin, we know these toys were important to you at one time. We need to sell the apartment, but your father has a scheme. It seems risky, but if all goes well, this will arrive just before we land at the colonies. We're going to the stars, just like we always dreamed. I know it's hard out there, but if we keep our heads down, we can start sending you money for the operations. More than enough money. Just hold on, honey. Everything's going to be okay.
Sorry. I should go.
Yeah, I guess so.
Ah, so we're getting lots of world-building vignettes. That was one of the things I really enjoyed about Valhalla, actually, was that, you know, the game didn't really explain the world so much as, calls. It came up in casual conversation and you learned more about the world that way. I really liked that.
I looked into your profile. It says you came from the Eastern Peninsula. Heard it's nice there. What made you want to come slumming with us in Nivalis?
It's the biggest city in the world. I wanted to make an impression.
It's not easy to break out in Nivalis, kid. Making it here is like trying to paint on the surface of a river. The current of people and ideas and the crowds, they wash everything away.
I'll make it.
Sure you will, kid. Just try making it through tonight first. We
One
need you
step
to
at a time.
head up to the Mercantile District. You're moving up in the world.
What's the job?
That.
Same as always. Take a package from A to B without too many questions. A is a warehouse. B is a penthouse.
Okay.
Transmitting nav points now. And remember, don't let them look down on you, kid. The merchants are as far from the clouds as they are from the gutter.
Okay, Control. On my way.
Okay, so merchants are considered more important, which I guess if this is kind of like a, you know, a general capitalist society, cyberpunk society that
Load
we're in.
Hova AI.
Yeah, there we go. The loading screens give me opportunity to talk without being talked over. Yes, I guess if this is supposed to be kind of like, you know, a capitalist society taken to its logical extreme, the merchants being kind of set above the common people makes sense. Although that does make me wonder what a Jeff Bezos might be in this setting.
Assistant.
Would they count as a
Load
merchant,
computer.
or are they
Helper.
more than that? Are they
Do you want to activate the generic automata?
Yes, that's the one.
Automata now available in generic limited mode.
I
How
love-
can I
I
help
love
you
new
today,
automata.
sir?
Not sir. My name is Rania.
How can I help you today, Mr. Rania?
I'm not a mister. Update my profile, please.
very good?
Profile changes are locked in the trial generic automata. Would you like to upgrade to my limited offer, monthly subscription, premium mode?
Now, just how much to replace you with an existing AI?
Do you have a hard copy of the AI on storage media?
I do.
Then the transfer cost to